What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bettor Mark. I am Mark. Let's get into Thursday, February 29th. The college basketball slate is a large one. We're going to be breaking down a couple games that I have penciled in here, some of my best bets, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the way and recap yesterday's plays, able to split the pair, okay? What we saw right within a couple games, guys, is we had a very strong chance of hitting 3 out of 4, and that's where we did not get it done. But, guys, 2 of my 4 best bets were in the clear from basically halftime on in those games. And for those of you that were backing Alabama and tailing that -5.5 play that I gave out, that was one where it was a very exciting game to watch. And Alabama really solidified themselves as being a definite Final Four contender. But that's just my personal perspective. When they get that 3-ball rolling, very hard team to beat. But let's get into last night's picks, and I want to get into tonight's slate because this is one where, guys, I really feel confident about a few of these plays. So I'm going to be sharing 3 best bets for you guys, and as always, guys, I'll put them down below in the pinned comment later on in the day for those of you that have trouble seeing this video or hearing this video. For whatever reason that may be. I appreciate you guys all being part of the channel, mind you, but I will put those down there for your guys' entertainment purposes. Okay, but let's get into it, and as always, make sure you guys are all subscribed down below. Smash that like button as well. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers. Let's try to get this video launch me over that mark because, guys, we have a lot of cool stuff happening on the channel. March 1st is where I'm going to be unveiling my promotion, where I'm going to have a huge giveaway for all my subscribers, but it's going to be important to be following me on X, okay? The handle is in the bottom left of your screen, and on YouTube, because when I drop those details, guys, you're going to make sure you share it out, and what you're going to need to do is be subscribed on both platforms and comment and all that good stuff, and there will be a huge giveaway, which I'm sure, as you guys are all basketball fans, you're going to love getting some free stuff, okay? So hopefully some lucky winner out there will be able to bring something home, okay? But let's get into last night's plays. That's where we had Creighton -8.5, getting it done. Never really a doubt in that one. They were up huge at halftime. That was a great spot for Creighton. I was airful in thinking that Butler would get it done as a money line pick. It just one where it didn't really get done, okay? And that was one. It was a bad handicap. I'm wrong in that regard. I didn't really like Butler, but I liked the spot, and I liked some of the trends seeing with that. And, you know, obviously, guys, we live to fight another day as well with Murray State, losing that money line as well. Really liked them at home. The home team in that contest really prevailing, and the Murray State was a different team at home, but they got blown out as well. So that was one where didn't really have some success with that, but we were able to close the night 2-2 with the Alabama -5.5, which was a great way to close the night. Okay, but now let's get into tonight's plays and best bets, and this is a huge, absolutely gargantuan card. Okay, for those of you looking for something to bet tonight, if you can't find something to bet, call me, because, guys, there is literally 50 college basketball games. Just exaggerating a little bit, but, guys, it is a huge slate, almost like a Saturday card. And now we're going to scroll through the board. I'm going to just go over some brief leans and just kind of throw some zingers out there. Not necessarily playing any of these games, but when we get these early numbers, just stuff that sticks out and jumps off the page, I want to share with you guys. But this is where we see Nebraska. This could be a potential for Nebraska scoring a lot of points. Kind of a fishy line, seeing only Ohio State laying 3.5 at home. Last matchup in Nebraska, I believe, was a closer game, 1 or 2 possession game. So that one jumps off a little bit. We're going to go down, and I'm going to have a couple things jumping off the page, like I said. A lot of road teams I like, but this late in the season, guys, I'm not in the business of taking road favorites, especially a lot of these games are determined conference championship schedules and seeding and what we get into within the March Madness. A lot of bubble teams, who first four out, all that good stuff, okay? But we're going to get into some of the more talks about my official plays. William & Mary, Elon. This is one where Elon kind of jumps off the page just initially. -3 at home. That's a lean that I have. And then if you're able to watch Drexel play, Drexel -10, that's one where they could win by margin at home against Stony Brook. They're kind of really hitting on all cylinders. I was actually on a play last night, guys. It's actually a funny story. For those of you that follow Samford in that conference, Samford, I think they're like something crazy, like 16-2, or they only have 2 losses in conference or overall even. I don't know what happened. If you guys were able to watch that game, I didn't see the actual play-by-play. I was watching other games, but something where I was on the total on that side. I got a late play in with the over, and that's important why you need to follow me on X, because when I get stuff later after these videos that come throughout the day that I get onto, I want to share it with you guys as well. So we're going to have a social platform and community built. I think that's where I'm going to get into some form of a Discord so we can share plays within the community, within the subscribers, and the members here on the channel that are actually leading up in like more of a live scenario, okay? But that's where we saw that Samford game. Unbelievable if you just look at that, the second half scoring. I've never seen anything like that within college basketball, where I thought I had no chance on the over and ended up cashing that ticket later in the second half, and it really was just one where it just blew over the total. So check it out if you're looking for a funny outcome, okay? But back into the board, Michigan, Rutgers. This is one where we look at Michigan and Rutgers being like Michigan is the worst team in the Big Ten, and I'm just very shocked that they're getting 7 points. This is one where I look at this Rutgers team being a middle-of-the-pack Big Ten team. Michigan's going to start waving that red flag, and this is something where it's just too juicy of a number to take Michigan plus 7. But I do think Rutgers has the potential to shock and blow out Michigan in this spot. Okay, and then we're going to get into a couple other games down the road. Tarleton State, this is one where they are a very, very good cover team. They've been on a roll. They're on the road, and they are just fighting and scrapping, being one of the recent form teams out there in the NCAA. So I'll be looking at that, maybe possibly -3 at Utah Tech. And then we get into a couple games late night, a couple of blowouts, a couple of these smaller schools, guys, jockeying for position. Some of them actually have their paths already set in stone. Maybe the under in Cal Poly, that would be a possible lean indication. And then we're going to get into some of the more games on my card. UCLA, Washington, that's one of the feature games that people are going to be watching. St. Mary's, Pepperdine. St. Mary's is a very good team, guys. Very good ball club. Pepperdine has had their struggles, but I can see St. Mary's winning by 20+ in that game. And then finally Gonzaga, San Fran, which I'll have an official play in. So let's save that one for last, okay? But let's get into this matchup, guys, where I tell you exactly my 3 plays. And these are games, guys, that 2 of them you're probably not going to know any of the mascots or teams involved. But this is one where we look into first being Monmouth, okay, taking on Hampton. Now, what we look at is Monmouth is -5.5. Better home team, okay? But what we look at is Monmouth going on the road, -5.5, laying the points, okay? This is just a very good look at a horrible team at home, okay? We look at Hampton as 2-14 in conference, and Monmouth with a 64% clip covering the spread. I think the number is just too low, so I see some value taking the -5.5. I got that one. I think that might even have some potential to move and creep up to 6.5. So lock that one in, Monmouth -5.5 being my first play. And then it's funny, though, I only have 3 plays that I did my research and I ran my numbers, and 3 plays that really jump off the board at me. So sometimes you get a little paralysis by analysis with such a huge slate where you just want to bet everything and every game looks good. And oh my God, you got all these feels and indications. So sometimes I like to get it down to 6 games, 7 games, and then narrow it down from there, because then you can really take a deeper dive into each individual contest. Okay. And then we have UMBC. Okay. UMBC, this is where you're going to have to really do some digging on this one, because I guarantee you probably have never watched a University of Maryland Baltimore County game, but we're just going to do it. It's going to be easier for you guys on your end. We're just going to call them UMBC for the sake of argument. All right, but this is where we look at this contest and what exactly is happening. All right, and this is where we see UMBC coming off a huge win, beating New Hampshire 86-68 on the road, and now they get back on the road, getting back on the bus, heading to the NJIT, okay? And that's where you look at this, guys, and this is kind of the same storyline, same kind of method that I'm using within the handicap within Monmouth game. This is where you look at the NJIT club. They're just a very bad team. These are bottom of the pack teams in the American East. And what it comes down to for me, guys, and what the whole premise of this handicap is, 29% cover percentage, okay? So this is obviously, guys, a crap-on-crap game where you can really read between the lines, and you kind of have an edge because of how bad these teams both are. So a lot of times, guys, you take the home team because when 2 bad teams play, the home field is the only thing that can act as an advantage. But this is where I think that I'm going to go with UMBC, okay? And that if you can find a 3.5 out there, that's something that I'm going to lay. I just think that there's a way different discrepancy within these two teams, and I think this is one that has blowout potential. But I'm going to be taking the UMBC Retrievers minus 3.5 on the road to get the job done in New Jersey. Okay. And then last, we're going to get into a play out west. This is a late night game, so for those of you on the East Coast, obviously, guys, I don't expect anybody to watch this other than myself, but this is where we look at a Gonzaga team, right? A perennial contender. When we look year in and year out, what we've seen within their runs, okay, getting into the playing in college basketball, the highest level, the finals, every single time, okay, that we've had them in the Final Four, they've delivered. Gonzaga has been one of those teams that you just love to watch, okay? We all know about their recent teams, Mark Few having great ball clubs, getting to the Final Four and beyond, but what we need to look at right now is they're kind of on the bubble. Okay, they are on the bubble, and now it's been quite some time where Gonzaga really has to worry about winning their conference to basically make the NCAA tournament. Okay, but they've won 6 straight, 10 of their last 11 games, and this is where we see a number where I just don't really agree with this number. I know Gonzaga in this contest is going on the road. Basically, two different ways to look at this, but they are laying 3.5 on the road, taking on San Francisco. This is one where we saw this basically open at 4.5. Number's been bought down to 3.5. People are on San Francisco, and I quite frankly, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to take Gonzaga. I know I said earlier in the video I don't want to take a lot of road favorites this late in the year, but this is one where I think Gonzaga has a little bit more to play for. Okay, I think that they're going to be back a little bit more healthier, and this is where you look at how in the past San Francisco has trouble getting past some of the perennial powers out there in the WCC. So that's kind of where we're looking at. This is where I look at these games in a historical trend within Gonzaga and San Francisco. Over the time period of a few years, they've really struggled to beat Gonzaga. I think it's been 23 times where we've seen 23 straight losses to Gonzaga by San Francisco. So this is one where I'm going to lock it in. Tipping off 11 p.m. Thursday. So, guys, I'll be asleep probably for that second half, but just wanted to get out my 3 best bets. Obviously, guys, if I get anything throughout the day, I'll try to post on X. I did that yesterday with the Stetson play, was able to win by double digits as a favorite there on the road. But, guys, exciting days ahead. I'm getting so excited for March Madness coming. I hope you guys all are as well. But the channel, next step, we need to get over 1,000 subscribers. So for those of you watching, make sure you guys are all subscribed down below, because this is one where, guys, when I drop that giveaway, I'm going to be posting it on YouTube as well as on my X platform. So make sure you guys are all subscribed with that notification bell so you don't miss a beat when I drop that stuff. But those are my 3 plays and best bets. Like I said, I might have some stuff pinned in the comments later on in the day. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys cash some tickets. Enjoy the picks, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.